Hello and welcome back to my channel. In my morning thoughts section today, I thought I will continue on the previous two videos about the cowardness, about the social networks, and about the commenting on posts and commenting in general. The reason why I brought it up is because I got an email today informing me that there was a reply to one of my comments on the tech blogs that I've shared. I usually don't comment on them. I usually, I just read the information. It's I rarely engage, but in this case, I thought I would, and it was rather touchy topic, which I believe has no place on the tech blogs. You can assume it is political, and it has nothing to do with the comment itself. It's rather an illustration how human interact and how human behave on the social networks. It is much easier to hide behind avatars, nicknames, assumed identity. And just like that monkey that throws the feces, that's exactly the behavior of those participators. It's interesting that it's not even the comment itself that provoked the person, it's the combination of several words in the comment. I'm not going to go through the entirety of what I posted, but rather I'm going to highlight what that person got triggered. And by the way, the person's name is Secret Goldfish Returns. The portion of my reply that triggered this person was, and I quote, "Unfortunately, people in US or the rest colonies of US are so brainwashed against communism and for democracy, they refuse to educate themselves." And you see, there is nothing you can dispute from this statement. It is unfortunate, and it is true that people are brainwashed against communism and for democracy. And it's also true that the people that are brainwashed, they refuse to educate themselves. And that's the pandemic. That's the real pandemic of people throwing stuff here and there without educating. And the mass media promotes it by posting something that's unverified just to be first instead of being right. So what this person got triggered on? Well, God forbid you cannot use brainwashed, communism, and democracy in the same sentence, because it implies that the people in the US, the freest country of them all, are brainwashed. That's impossible. Secret Goldfish writes, "Brainwashed against communists," and it put it in quotes, "Ha ha ha. You only have to look at how communism has been implemented so far to conclude that. Shame about their human flaw to systems which don't consider their human flaws." I don't know, I still don't get the entire thought that the Secret Goldfish Returns try to convey here, but it is definitely triggered this person. And what triggered this person is brainwashed against communism. And the Secret Goldfish omitted the for democracy portion of it, because the brainwashed cannot be for democracy. Why those words are triggering people? Well, you see, it goes into the belief system. If you believe in something and somebody tells you and somebody pokes something in those beliefs, you can have a debate. You can have a conversation and you can share your beliefs and a person can share their beliefs. And in this conversation, ultimately you can come to some sort of conclusion where both of you agree or you agree to disagree. Now, this is not an example of different opinions, because what I'm talking about are the people in US and the other countries who are brainwashed against communism and for democracy. The Secret Goldfish Returns does not provide any comment on that whatsoever, because the Secret Goldfish Returns comments on that I have to look at how communism has been implemented so far to conclude that. I'm a little bit puzzled. Does this imply that people in US live in the communism or the rest of the colonies, how I mentioned? Because what I'm concluding is people in US are brainwashed. But the Secret Goldfish Returns implies that I have to look at how communism has been implemented to conclude that. But why did this person decide to comment at all? and to write that. And again, you see, they got triggered. They got triggered by the certain words, and the fact that somebody potentially disagrees with either the article or the post that I was replying to, that they had to do something, but they don't know what to do. They cannot think. They operate in the concepts and in the borders that the society dictates. Now, going back to why there is an urge to say something, it's just like those monkeys throwing feces. You see, this person who already possesses that sense of security, they act as a coward. And as a coward, there is nothing else they can do but throw the feces. The belief system shapes up based on your observations. It is very difficult for a person to accept that there are different beliefs if the person is not certain about their own belief. See, those people who don't have a strong belief system will cowardly reject any belief system, because to them, having a strong belief system exposes that they don't possess one. And it all comes down to that feeling of guilt that I spoke to. That feeling of guilt that is so deeply embedded in our humanity, even is described in a biblical story. One of the first chapters of the Bible, the Genesis, when the God shames Adam and Eve for eating a fruit of the forbidden tree. When the God kicks out Adam and Eve from the garden. That the fear of guilt is at the base of exodus from the paradise. And what it might suggest is that without guilt, you are walking in the paradise. You see, the feeling of guilt is associated with self-love. If you truly love yourself, you would love your neighbor. You would love your enemy. That's exactly what Jesus was preaching. So how do we fight that feeling of guilt? How do we walk towards the self-love? How do we develop that self-love? Well, that's the topic for the future. For today, this is it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and until next time.